Hello, and welcome to a short video on building high-performing leadership teams. Today, I'd like to talk about transparency and how open information flow within and across leadership teams lead to high performance. I'm going to illustrate this concept with the Johari window. It's a classic four-box model where things in the upper left-hand quadrant, things that are known to self and known to others, are what we call open. So an example of things that are in the open box would be the coronavirus and the impact that the virus is having on the economy and on our personal lives. This is information that we're all able to see and understand and work with, for better or worse. On the upper right-hand side, we have things that are unknown to self, yet known to others, and we call these things blind. A good example here would be if I were to have food or spinach, for example, in my teeth, and we had a nice close-up shot on this video. This is something that you would know, be aware of, and I'd be completely oblivious to. In the lower left-hand quadrant, we have things that are known to self and unknown to others. We call these things hidden. An example here might be the anxiety I'm feeling inside about the coronavirus, the impact it's having on my family, on our financial security, the general economy, and that anxiety and what it's doing inside of me and how it might be impacting my own ability to perform might be something that I feel very strongly, but is outside of your view. And then things that are unknown to self and unknown to others are in the unconscious realm. Now, what we know about high-performing teams is that the open box, if you were to observe teams, if you were to be a fly on the wall or an anthropologist studying teams, be them in the sports, in military, or in business, the open box is very large. The amount of information that's available to team members is very big. And people can work with that information and use that information to make business decisions and drive the business forward. On poor performing teams, that box gets quite small and constrained, and people are operating on a need to know basis as opposed to an open information flow basis. So the game then, if we're trying to consider how to build high performing teams, is how do we open up that open box? So how can we open the box in the direction of the blind? How can I find out that I have spinach in my teeth? And the answer to that question is feedback. People on my team would give me that feedback. In order for them to do that, they would have to feel comfortable that I would be understanding the intention of that as positive and meant to support me. And I would have to be receiving it in exactly that same manner. The next question is, how do we open up the Johari window in the direction of hidden? And the answer to that question is self-disclosure. So my willingness to share with you on this video that I have anxiety about the current coronavirus crisis that we're dealing with, to be open about what's going on in a business context, to be willing to share capability gaps, risks to meeting plan, to be transparent about the maybe assumptions that are behind my plans. All of that I would be needing to self-disclose on a very regular basis, which is difficult because it requires that I be vulnerable, which is generally not a natural thing that I want to go, and a place that causes me to feel quite uncomfortable, but decidedly critical for the team's performance that they're aware of it. So the two teammate behaviors that are absolutely critical to building high-performing teams are feedback culture in the team that promotes a regular exchange day to day in a balanced way, both recognizing what's working as well as being critical about the gaps, but where teammates are demonstrating they're at stake for each other's success by giving each other performance feedback, sharing the information that one another need to be successful in their roles. The second behavior is self-disclosure. the willingness to be open, transparent, upfront, and early, particularly around those risk areas that may cause us to feel vulnerable. So that's the Johari window.